And this fallout this morning over President Trump's repeated attacks on Congressman Elijah Cummings in his Baltimore area district, calling it rat and rodent infested. Once again, the president is denying his attack on the African-American congressman, and the majority black city is racist. Our senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce is there on Capitol Hill. Mary, the president is up and tweeting about this again this morning. There seems to be a real pattern here.
Yeah, Cecilia, this is now the second time in just 2 weeks that the president has been accused of launching racist attacks against a member of Congress. And the president's attacks against Chairman Cummings have been relentless. As you mentioned, he is back at it again this morning. And now the president is trying to turn the table, insisting he is not being racist. The Democrats are. In more than a dozen tweets over the weekend, the president disparaging Congressman Elijah Cummings, calling his majority black district around Baltimore, Maryland, a disgusting rat and rodent infested mess where no human being would want to live.
Holy gunshots and people are goddamn running.
We have some witnesses reporting that there may have been a second suspect, but we don't know if that suspect was engaged in any shooting.
Well, Andrew Smith from the Campaign Against Arms Trade also told me this isn't an issue about Boris Johnson, the Tory party, or any particular government.
Unfortunately, I think out of Boris Johnson's colleagues, I think it is fair to say that almost any of them would have done the exact same thing. But this isn't an issue about Boris Johnson. It's not an issue about even this Tory party or this particular government. This is an institutional issue because successive UK governments, whether Labour or Conservative or coalition, have all followed much the same policy when it comes to support for the Saudi regime, which is to maximise arms sales and to turn the other way and ignore it when the regime carries out abuses against either Saudi people or people in Yemen. Well, the Court of Appeal has found that these arms sales to Saudi Arabia have been granted unlawfully. The government is having to apply the correct process to review the existing licences.
Good morning, I'm Deborah Arbeck. Right now, RCMP are concentrating their search for Cam McLeod and Briar Schmegelski in York Landing, Manitoba, urgently switching their focus in the manhunt for the two teen murder suspects. This is video into us this morning from our CBC News team in York Landing. You can see tactical officers on the ground. RCMP rushed there after two men matching the fugitives' descriptions were spotted yesterday near a garbage dump. That sighting hasn't been confirmed yet by police, but we have a new brief statement from Manitoba RCMP. In a message posted a few minutes ago on Twitter, the RCMP says, quote, "Situation is ongoing. All possible RCMP resources continue to be used in the area of York Landing to safely apprehend two individuals matching the description of the suspects."
The death toll from Wednesday's suicide blast in Mogadishu has risen to 11 after two more victims succumbed to their injuries. On Thursday, 12 blast victims were airlifted to Qatar, including the mayor of Mogadishu, Abdurrahman Omar Usman. Senior local government officials were among those killed in that attack. Police are yet to issue an official statement on the attack, but a female bomber is said to have detonated explosives at a security gathering chaired by the city mayor and district heads. It's the fifth time Al-Shabaab is using a female bomber to carry out an attack here in the country. In 2011, a female suicide bomber detonated her explosives, killing the national security minister, marking a major change of tactic by the militant group on its high-profile targets.
A smashed-up pavement, broken bricks, and splashes of anti-Beijing graffiti. The cleanup has begun in Hong Kong's Shengwan neighbourhood following an 8th consecutive weekend of clashes between pro-democracy protesters and police. In a rare press conference on Monday, the Chinese government broke its silence over the unrest, saying the violence has touched the bottom line of the one country, two systems principle.
The central government firmly supports Chief Executive Carrie Lam. It firmly supports the Hong Kong police in its strict law enforcement. And it supports the relevant departments of the city's government and judicial agencies to punish criminals. And it firmly supports actions to defend Hong Kong's rule of law by people who love Hong Kong and China.
A 16-year-old gamer from the US, he's known as Booger, has won $3 million. You heard that right. After being crowned the Fortnite world champion in New York. His real name is Carl Gustav. Joe Tidy reports.
He's juggled schoolwork, missed out on parties with friends, practiced for 8 hours a day for months, and now he's won the ultimate prize.
Time, your world champion, Booga!
16-year-old Kyle Giersdorf, known as Booga, is Fortnite's first world champion. He takes home this giant trophy and $3 million.
I feel pretty amazing, honestly, but at the same time, like, not too much emotion, just because it hasn't really kicked in yet.
What are you going to do with $3 million?
Definitely just going to save it and put it towards my future.
Turn now to a new concern about shark attacks after 2 people were bitten in Florida over the weekend. Thankfully, both survived. One of them, a surfer, you can see this, was seen on camera struggling in the water when a shark latches onto his arm. ABC's Will Reeve has the latest on this. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Cecilia. This summer, beaches across America have been on shark watch. There have been warnings, alerts, dozens of sightings and close calls. Some beaches even closing down to prevent what happened twice just this weekend in Florida: attacks.
This morning, 23-year-old surfer Frankie O'Rourke feeling lucky after a too-close encounter with a shark. In this video taken by Surfline.com, O'Rourke, a competitive surfer, struggles to stay above water at Jacksonville Beach, Florida, Saturday, while a shark believed to be a black tip latches onto him.
I was just laying on my board right over behind me and waiting for a wave. All of a sudden, a shark comes out of the water and grabs onto my
Story about a transgender woman who started a Twitter storm after effectively forcing a beauty salon in Canada to close down for refusing to wax her bikini line. Jessica Yano, formerly Jonathan, filed 16 human rights complaints against different salon owners in Vancouver. It's after they all denied the service on the basis that Jessica still had male genitalia and they only catered for women, they said. Jessica's also found little sympathy on social media, where she's faced a furious backlash on Twitter.
There is no religion, beliefs, politics or culture when it comes to a woman's right to say no when asked to place her hands on a male-born genital area.
It has nothing to do with genitalia and everything to do with force.
It's also about those workers' right to not wax genitalia that needs different wax, handling and training. But reality needs to shush.
Well, Jessica explained that, as she saw it, the scandal wasn't about waxing, more about people using religion and culture to refuse a service, hinting that the salon owner was immigrant.
On the Las Vegas Strip, right across from the Mirage, is this.